How do you use viral videos to market your company in a YouTube era? I'm Raymond Flanders, a small business reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Examples of small firms that have spread the word about their business through YouTube and other video sites are featured in the Journal Report on Small Business. We'll be talking about the various ways small businesses can do online video without having to do it themselves with Michael Boland, a senior analyst at the Kelsey Group. He recently wrote a white paper on online video, a new local advertising paradigm. We'll speak to Michael about all of that after this.
CDW is there when business calls for technology, offering over 1,000 of the top name brands in the industry, combined with expert advice and custom configuration, so you can get exactly what you need. CDW, the right technology right away.
Welcome, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Great. First, tell us a little bit about the new media of online video and what could it mean for any small business and why this is happening today.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, really the economies are changing for small businesses to really get involved with video advertising, and what's really driving that is the internet because, it enables lower cost video distribution when compared with traditional cable spot advertising, which is what their kind of options were limited to previously. And the price points and options available to them are really falling within their grasp. And, traditionally, by comparison, they've really been on their own to create a video ad, which can kind of be daunting or expensive or have limited quality. But now we're seeing a lot of companies enter the market really driven by this online opportunity to produce professional-looking videos for relatively cheap, kind of at a small business-friendly price point.
Tell us a little bit about that. How, for small businesses that have no idea how to do an online video ad, where can they go to? What kind of options are there for them right now?
Yeah, that's a good point. And first of all, what we're talking about here is to have these videos really embedded in the local businesses kind of listing on a place like CitySearch. CitySearch, for example, also has city-specific pages such as, the best of San Francisco with featured videos. And, this really enhances the business profile, especially if you're talking about something like restaurants where it really helps to see a short video on the food or the ambiance or things like that. But to answer your question, what are the options and, who are some of these video providers? There are a lot of companies kind of experimenting with different levels of service and price points, and it's really early days, so I think you're going to continue to see a lot of experimentation. But, one company is SpotRunner, which charges about $500 for the video ad creation, and this is done kind of on a really self-serve basis on the site's online dashboard. And, after you sign up, you can choose from a series of stock footage that's really specific to certain categories of businesses. And then, on top of that, you customize that with text and custom voiceover. And then, that's one option. Stepping up the price scale, you have another company called Turn Here, which shoots more personalized videos for about $5,000. But they actually send a camera crew to your location and do professional editing. And they basically have kind of an army of far-flung outsourced videographers, which really allows them to have a presence in every major U.S. market and then also to really scale that really capability. And, their distribution is both kind of viral channels like YouTube, and they've also signed a partnership with CitySearch to have these local business ads embedded within CitySearch business profiles, kind of the scenario I mentioned earlier. And the way this really works is, a CitySearch advertiser who spends a certain amount on performance-based advertising will receive this video ad from Turn Here as really just kind of a free add-on to their business listing. So that price floor is about $800 per month with a 6-month contract. So if you think about it, that's a pretty good deal for small businesses when you think the fact that they're getting your standard CitySearch advertising package at a certain price point, plus a free video that, again, has a $5,000 value. So I think for that reason, CitySearch is possibly subsidizing this video production to really drive ad sales, but it still presents an interesting opportunity for small businesses.
So how does a small business contact these video ad producers?
The two I mentioned so far, Turn Here and SpotRunner, they both can be found or contacted through their websites, spotrunner.com and turnhere.com. CitySearch also, has forms you can fill out to kind of get involved with their local business advertising, and they're interested to hear from businesses. They also have an outbound telephone telesales to basically push these kind of ad models out into the local business market. And another interesting way is through the Yellow Pages, because they also have a high touch sales interaction with local businesses.
Yeah, how does that work? I've heard about them, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah. So beyond the examples I've mentioned, you have usually, every major Yellow Pages company starting to integrate different types of video ads into their internet Yellow Pages offerings. You have Super Pages and DexKnows and YellowBook.com and YellowPages.com. And, the demand has really driven them to do this because we're talking about, Yellow Pages companies that have a high-touch interaction and establish relationships with a lot of small businesses. So, their sweet spot of small business advertisers really kind of understands video. It's something they get. It's something everyone can really relate to compared with, some other forms of small business advertising that they may find kind of abstract. A plumber might not really care about or know how to value a click if you're talking about pay-per-click model. But, video is something that's really proving to have a lot of resonance among small businesses. But anyway, so these Yellow Pages providers are really kind of feeling around to see what the best way to provide this capability and sell it to small business advertisers through their local sales channels. And they're beginning to partner with a lot of the video providers, similar to Turn Here, to really kind of replicate what CitySearch has done. And, the pricing is kind of different in every case, but they're all experimenting in that regard.
I see.
There's an interesting company called Easy Show, actually, that I'm talking to later that has kind of a low barrier model and a price point for kind of a do-it-yourself video ad creation, similar to kind of what I mentioned about SpotRunner. But the difference is that Easy Show is targeting internet Yellow Pages specifically as a place for these videos to reside, which I think is a big opportunity.
Beyond that, what's the future of online video advertising that small businesses should watch out for?
Well, I think, that's a good question. I think it's interesting. The dark horse in all of this could be Facebook. As many of your readers probably know, Facebook, in addition to MySpace, just announced a series of ad products aimed at small businesses. And this allows small businesses to basically create a profile just like any individual would and then connect to friends and potential customers using the standard social networking features of the site, and also to then target certain users according to their location, age, or things they may have revealed about themselves on their profiles. But the point is that given the open development standards of Facebook, give it time before video capability is added to these small business profiles in the same way that a lot of these other local search sites we've talked about are really driving towards. And in that way, I think Facebook could morph into, among a lot of other things, a really competitive player in local search. And, the good part for small businesses is these small business profiles are really easy to set up and really present a low barrier, a low-cost opportunity for small businesses to kind of get involved in online advertising and hopefully soon to be video capability on Facebook. I'm convinced that that's coming very soon.
So do you think that this movement toward online video is just a fad?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, like a lot of other kind of embryonic areas of online media where we see a lot of optimism and experimentation and investment, there's going to be a certain ebb and flow, and we could see a period of really just kind of overvaluation and, a subsequent shakeout and consolidation. But I think overall there's really a growing demand out there to sustain an ecosystem to really continue to grow around online video. You can't really argue with the growing numbers of consumers that are watching online video and the changing standards and expectations they have. And I think there's really room for a lot of advertising growth here to follow those eyeballs. It took a long time for advertisers to kind of catch up with consumers' transition from radio to television. And I think this is somewhat analogous to that, and it could just be, advertisers have a lot of catching up to do with, indicates a greater source of revenues for the players involved in this space. And, this kind of local opportunity, I think, is just really an offshoot of that larger online video growth trend.
Good points, Michael. Thanks so much for joining us. To read profiles of those small businesses that have attracted huge viewership and boosted their business through online video, plus other important topics related to small business, you can turn to the Journal Report on Small Business. I'm Raymond Flanders for the Wall Street Journal.